Greetings to you out there, and thanks for joining us on today's edition of your program ENTRETIENT on Canal 24 Television. Your television of innovation. Like we bring every week, we bring to you somebody, we spotlight somebody who is doing something good for the nation and of course for the continent. On today's edition of the program, we shall be looking at training, a program which is training entrepreneurs and funding the best ones out of the workshop, and we are spotlighting a Cameroonian, a lady that is up to the task, that has been doing something very wonderful, maybe which is not known by a lot of Cameroonians. And on ENTRETIENT, as it is tradition, we try to make sure that we bring these people that are marking the lines and making positive things, carrying the name of the nation on a positive note in the national level. Today, I'm not alone in the house. I'll come back to introduce our guest of honor just after the transition. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just joining us, you are on ENTRETIENT on Canal 24 Television. Today, our topic of discussion is going to be training and funding initiative for entrepreneurs in Cameroon, which is an initiative carried by a young Cameroonian lady who has been up to the task of doing a foreign land, but coming back home to do something great in the nation. He is no one else but Mrs. Vera Sompon, who is a social, how did she put it, a social service worker. She likes to work for humanity. She likes to lend a hand. She likes to reach out. It is something that is so dear to her, and she is here today to talk to us about this program, which is in its second edition, because the first edition took place last year, where we had one overall winner and who is doing great already on the field. Let us welcome Mrs. Vera. Welcome, Miss.
Thank you, ma'am, for having me.
So how have you been?
Very fine, thank you.
You know, last on the 14th, we attended a press conference where you unveiled the package for the second edition of the Sompon Socialservice initiative, and a lot was gotten from there. But it's true that during a press conference, everything cannot be said. For the better understanding of our audience, we've decided that today you should be buttressing everything concerning not only the academy but the social service initiative itself. That is why I called upon you and our viewers out there to go and follow the report that we had on Wednesday, then come back to discuss just after. Born out of the passion to serve humanity by giving back to the society, Germany-based Vera Sompon is back to Cameroon for the second edition of the Sompon Socialservice Initiative Program.
Sompon Socialservice is a social enterprise, a social company to support young people, to support women, to support family.
The Sompon Business Masterclass and Startup Funds is an initiative training program and funding initiative for entrepreneurs, change makers, and anyone who desires to cause impact, which is open to entrepreneurs, change makers between the ages of 18 to 40 for a specific reason.
Particularly interested in women. I do not mean that I have a problem with men, but I'm particularly interested to see that women are women of virtue, women that do great things, industrious women, and still fulfill purpose.
During the press conference organized by the Sompon Academy in Cameroon, August 14th, it was disclosed that for this second edition, the training program is going to take a week of intensive interaction.
I just expect them to be open-minded and to understand that they must go through new methods of approach to get the things they want to get. And I want them to understand that 6 and 9 looks the same. It depends on the position where we stand. So let it come with an open mind. If it's 6, if it's 9, we're going to see how to work that together.
You should recall that the first edition, which took place last year, had one overall winner who saw his project fully funded, and today he stands as a living testimony.
Big opportunity. So last year, Madam Vera came into Cameroon. She came with a vision, and we were so pleased because this is what we need to take this country to the next step. We are the youth, we are tomorrow. If nobody stands up to empower us, there is no tomorrow.
Taken from the words of the founder, your networking is your net worth. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was a report gotten from the press conference we attended on the Sompon Socialservice initiative last Wednesday at the Oja neighborhoods in the nation's political capital. Madam Vera is here to talk to you detailedly about this program. But before we go talking about the program, I want to talk to Madam Vera, who I want you to tell the Cameroonian public, the world, and thousands of people watching out there, who is Madam Vera.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It's a privilege to be here with you, and I am not taking it for granted. I really appreciate this honor. Yes, you said my name is Vera Sompon. I'm based in Germany, and I'm a lecturer at the University of Esslingen. Apart from lecturing, I manage my own personal academy, which is the Sompon Academy, under my social institution. It's a social institution, the same as well as an educational institution. And apart from that, I'm very much politically also active, and I manage a church too with my husband. And yes, that's a little I can reveal for now about myself.
All right, thanks for that brief summary. At least we've known most of the things we want to know about you. So I want you to tell Cameroonians, it's not usually easy to dive into certain ventures. Some people are afraid, what if I do not succeed? How do I start? From where do I go? So where did this journey begin, and how did it begin?
Amazing question. It began 2009. I studied social pedagogy in the University of Esslingen. And when I was studying, the many young Cameroonians who go to Europe, they usually want to study IT and all the technical courses and all that. And so I said, but that's not me actually. Going to study anything technical is really not me. So I have to stay back on my line to support people, empower people. And that's why I did pedagogy. And when I was doing pedagogy, I said there are only two options I have. When I finish, I either get a job or I create jobs. So there were the two things that was with me and in me, and therefore I didn't bother if I'm going to have a poor result or not poor result. Fact was I'm going to create jobs or have jobs. And therefore when I finished 2009, indeed I got a job, worked at one of the biggest firms in Germany, but it was not so challenging enough, and so that's why I started also my own social service. And it's been 10 years now, and we're going to be celebrating the 10 years jubileum in November in Germany. And yes, we have done a lot of things, and the service, Sompon Social Service, is a migrant organization to support migrants in Germany, and we have different departments. We have the Department of Development and Sustainability, we have the Department of Racism and Colonialism, we have the Department of Youth and Youth Service, Family Service, and Pedagogical Service. And therefore with the academy, we empower people, we coach them, and with our sustainable projects. That's why we are in Africa. We're in 8 countries in Africa. But because my heart beats for Cameroon, I come here regularly to empower young people to understand the potentials that they have to do mighty things, and to accompany them through this discovery and helping them.
Yes, I want to talk on the move for the academy, the social service stuff. Was the beginning that easy? Did you find it easy starting it?
If someone tells you that the start is easy, then that person is making a big lie. But one thing is sure, quitters never win and winners never quit. So you have to go through this process. It's a process. We are becoming something, even if people think that it's failing, but we are becoming something through all these different processes. It wasn't easy. In addition to that, it's in a foreign country. To be able to succeed in a foreign country with a foreign language and have to build a company that manages diverse people. We have about 300 volunteers that work for us for free. We have also employees. It takes grace, it takes the favor of the Lord, and to have that heart to come to Africa and also give back, because I I think that the diasporas play a very big role in sustainable development and in the rebuilding process of their countries.
Wow, that's mighty. It really takes the grace of God, like you said, because usually beginnings are not, you said quitters never win and winners never quit. I like that saying, because that's what keeps going. I know that in every endeavor you want, if you want to be a winner, you don't have to quit, no matter what comes your way.
That's true.
So how was the first edition of the Sompon Social Service like?
It was an amazing one. We had 80 students, and from diverse places. They came from the entire Cameroon country, and we had one winner. The difference between the first edition and the second edition is that the first edition we had 2 days of intensive workshops. It was one Saturday, and then we set the people, gave them the assignments to go work with them, and we thought that, or I thought that they were going to be able to network with themselves, and they had, even though they had coaches, but it didn't really function properly. And so the next Saturday they were supposed to come and now pitch up their project. And I think that Ade Brian, who won the prize last year, or the fund last year, was because he was already ready. He was always prepared, and everything was positive for him. And so the changes is that this year we want to have a 1 week intensive program. We're not going to give time to say go back home and come back again. So we are going to train the young people from Monday the 19th of August. As they come at 9 o'clock, we are going to work together to 5 p.m. During these different sessions, they have time to work up their project. We're going to teach them how to create their own ideas or services they want to, or product, and we'll teach them how to pitch it up. We'll teach them how to convince an investor. We'll teach them how to network with other people to be able to bring up this project. And so it's going to be from Monday, Tuesday to Friday. On Friday evening or afternoon, they will be able to pitch up their project before our jury, and then on Saturday we're going to reveal to them who are the winners, and they get a ceremony, an award or a fund ceremony.
Yes, I learned that this time around we are not going to have one winner but 5. Why did you decide to step up the number?
I stepped up 5 because I think that we have many young people that desire to do mighty things, and if we have 5, good. If we still have only 1, then fine, but at least we had stepped up to 5, so to say we move forward every year.
That's good, moving forward. Given the fact that you are a woman and all the natural challenges that women have, you know, now finding yourself in a business environment with all the men who have been there before, has it been sometimes you feel like, these men, have you ever had any sort of, you feel a little type because you are a woman and you are daring?
Oh no. I never, because I think because of my spiritual background, I now understand that spirituality or God has no gender, He has no color, and He has no age, and therefore a young person before you can be an adult before Him, and He can use him and He want to use. And I think I'm not religious. It means that I don't just go to church because people go to church. I have a spiritual relationship with my Creator. And so because of that intensive relationship, it gives me grace to overlook every culture, every barrier that is before me. I do not believe in the fact that there is a man's job or there's a woman's job. I believe in everyone has the potentials, and if I am a fish, I can't go to swim or to swim in the air because there's no water in the air. And if I'm a bird, I can go into the sea. So, and if I'm a tree, I can just go on the air. So therefore, I find out the seed that I have, and when I know my seed, I can be able to dive anywhere irrespective of my gender. And that's the message I want to give to young women out there who are being challenged with the fact that they are women. I don't think that being a woman is should be a negative thing for us. On the contrary, women are incubators, so they incubate even the very men that think that they are men. And so without the man, there's no woman. Without the woman, there's no man. So therefore, there's no need to be fighting about gender issues here.
Yeah, we are talking about 7 days of intense or schooling. How intense? What are the different models?
We have different models. I brought a flyer to along with me. We have the first model is going to be, before we go to the models, every month from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are going to have keynote speakers. One of them is Thierry Yamin from the CEO of NT Foods from Tanti. He is going to be doing the opening talk with us, and he's going to be talking about think big and then start small. And the second speaker is going to be Mr. Clement, who is also very, very involved with young people. He's going to be talking about developing selves and conquering fear to start our project. And then we're going to talk on Wednesday about the Africa We Want by Rachel Ikoma from the African Union, and she's going to be telling us what's that exactly the Africa we want to have and the aspect of sustainability. Then we're going to have another keynote speaker who is going to be Dr. Stanley Muke, who is going to be teaching the young people, telling the young people how to market themselves so that an investor will want to have them. And of course, on Friday, I'm going to be talking on your network is your net worth. And then this is the morning programs, and during the afternoon programs, we're going to dive into the diverse modules. And the first module is going to be to develop your product, how to develop your product or create a service from an idea into a product or into a service. And then we're going to see how to create good networks and make use of networks. And then we're going to teach them how to find VIP customers, so teach them how to get the very first customers. And we're going to teach them how to do a branding, marketing and sales, and of course how to invest, how to negotiate with their investors. And we're going to create a business plan together, the Canva business plan. It's a one-page business plan that will guide everyone to be able to be productive. And of course, last but not the least, we're going to teach them how to pitch up their project in 2 minutes before any investors or before any jury.
That's awesome. It's going to be that's like a whole semester.
It's like a semester, but we have really, that's why it's intense, because it's going to be from 9 o'clock to 5 p.m. And then on Saturday, we're going to be rounding it up with a beautiful ceremony that's going to be packed up with networkers, with different kind of businessmen and women that can become also their coaches at the end of it. And that is going to begin also from 4 o'clock till about 9 p.m. on that Saturday.
Yeah, I have read that on this edition we are talking about masterclass. We talk business masterclass. Why business? Why masterclass? Last year, was it different from the term on which the program went on? Was different?
Last year was a one-on-one with Vera Sompon, and so it was a one-on-one talk with me. And then this year, I did not only do it on me alone and talking, so that's why it's a masterclass, because we have diverse people of great backgrounds that are going to be talking, people with a lot of competencies, and we have diaspora that are also involved, and so it makes it a master. But the business aspect is because we have a lot of business people involved in it that are going to be teaching and giving the people the skills that they need and the tools and instruments that they need to actually come up with their own projects, their own ideas, and to be able to come produce something sustainable.
Indeed, a master plan, because when you talk, when I get the name of, the college of keynote speakers, it's really something that one should not afford to miss. I want us to look at the Sompon Academy. What is the Sompon Academy all about? The
Sompon Academy is actually a branch of a Sompon Social Service. Like I said before, Sompon Social Service have diverse departments, and the Sompon Academy is like a baby company to Sompon Social Service, and it has a specificity to train. So we train young people, we train companies, we coach people to become become the best of version of themselves.
So far, so good. How has the attendance been? How has the turnout been?
I am very grateful. Last year we had 80 people because I think that it was for free, and this year we said that if we continue to encourage the aspect of free things being free, it will not make us reach the targeted group of people and the real people. So we are actually looking for people who really want people to invest in their businesses. We want people who really have ideas, and they want people, partners, to come in and invest. And therefore, if you pay 50 15,000 francs CFA and go out with 500,000, then you've not done a bad deal. In addition to that, you have learned a whole lot of skills and tools to make you go and push your business to a higher level. So I think up to now we have about 30 people who have registered, and if it ends there, we are still very grateful, because then we can have an intensive discussion with them, intensive work with them, and then the selection becomes very, very sure. So we're grateful, but we are happy if other people, and that's why we are here. That's my personal initiative to support young Cameroonians, and I precise this always that the Sompon Startup Funds is really my personal initiative to support young Cameroonians or young Africans, so that they can have the potentials and the support that they need to do the things that I think they can do. And that's why if they are interested, anyone who is really interested can contact Mrs. Ayemle Linda, and the number is 677559077, and in this number too they can do the Momo transfer for their registration.
When you talk of coaching, when we talk of funding a business plan, some people be expecting full funded to be fully funded. How does it go? Like for now that we have up to 5, what is let me say the ability, like to what extent can you go to fund to fully fund a project?
I don't want to get to the argument of if we're going to fully fund a project or we're not going to fully fund a project. In our press conference, I think I detailedly expatiated on this aspect. Let's take another example. Let's take a fact that you have a business plan for 5 million. So already coming up already with a few techniques on how one writes a business plan or a project, right?
Yeah.
So you have a business plan or a project for 5 million. In the 5 million, I suppose that you sat down and said, I will need a room space to do my business. So that space, let's say it is 100,000 francs per month. If you multiply times 12 months, it's going to be 1,200,000, right? And then if you say that you're going to have instruments, like I see a beautiful space you have here with a lot of sophisticated instruments. So let's assume that this instruments was going to cost as 2 million, because you have to buy all the electronics. Now we are about 2,200,000, right? Now we want to say that you're going to have for the start maybe 50,000, or let's say 30,000, let's say 50,000 for your salary for the start, so that at least you should not get into your investment money. You multiply 50 times 12, it's going to give you a roughly estimation of 750 something, right? Now you get again all the cost, like maybe transportation. Let's talk about graphicking and flyers. So you want to do flyers, you want to do your graphicking, you need someone to do a good flyer. It can cost you maybe 300,000 or 500,000. You need the flyers. Let's go it again to 500,000. We sum this all together, it is about 5 million, right?
Yep.
Now you come to the business class or master's class, and we teach you how to develop your concept. We teach you how to get the right VIP guest. We teach you how to be able to invest, to talk to your investors, to pitch up your project in 2 minutes, and we teach you how to create your business plan. So now you know exactly what you need. The problem is many people don't know exactly what they need for their business. So now you know exactly what you need, and you need exactly for this project, you need your office, you need the materials, you need the space, you need your salary, a small salary, and then you need the equipments, right? Now I come in and I say, okay, that's why I say your network is your net worth. Now, I do not have this 1.2 for the room, but I have a space for you to work. Now, 1.2 is already out. It's already sorted, right? Yes, because I've given you an office space. It is not the cash, but you have an office space. Now you have the graphic and the flyers that you need. And I said, okay, don't bother about that. It costs you about 1 million. Okay, I'm going to network with my next partner. He's going to do you the flyers and the graphic and the internet page. So you have again 1 million out, right? So we are already on the 2,2. Then we have now the equipment. Yes, it depends. The equipment could be laptops and all that. And if we can afford that, we say, oh, we have now equipment for you that is also covering about 1 million. Are we getting to the point?
Oh, yes.
Now almost half of the money is gone. What is remaining now is your salary for 750,000 francs to keep you going and still do your job, right? Now, we can now analyze and say, okay, we have to see again and prove. We must not give you all the 750. We can give you a part because the other parts have been completed. Now, have we funded the project all? Yes. We have funded the project. Nice. Have we given you the cash that you want to have? No, because many Cameroonians want to have the cash in their hands. But the truth is, if I give you 5 million, when you do not know where to, you will do nothing with it. And that's why the master's class is so important, so that they know how to be able to write a business plan, a project plan. It's amazing because we have MBA students that can't even come out with a business plan. And therefore, it will be advantageous for them to really take part so that they can be able to learn how to come up with a business plan, learn how to negotiate. And even if we do not fund their project, they can give that project somewhere else, because now they understand how it goes. But from this example, one can say that the project has been funded all. Right, but the money as a cash per cash has not been given all the 5 million, but it has been funded all. So we have to now balance to see what do we want, project funded all or cash.
Yeah, so that's quite a detailed explanation. I want it for for the use of our viewers out there, because many are those who will be wanting, like you said, Cameroonians, we like when it concerns money, whereas if you have all those things, you have nothing to worry about. So what appraisal can you make of the last year's winner of this edition?
Come again, ma'am.
What appraisal can you make of the last year's winner?
He has been wonderful. The essence of this networking or this program is indeed to support people understand that they are blessed to bless other people. So, and up to now, Ade Brian has been doing a great job. He had 9 months. It's a 1-year project, but he had 9 months to be in schools to help young people, and he has done so much already in schools. They came up with a tournament. It's wonderful. He has impacted a lot in young people. That's exactly what we are looking for. But I don't mean that all projects should be school projects, and I don't mean that all projects should just be on social basis projects. No, we want projects that are sustainable and they have networking character. We want young people who come out to understand that they are not going to work as individuals alone, but they work together with other people to create the impact. That's why our motto is, we create entrepreneurs for a global change.
Entrepreneurs for a global change. And after the 1 week, when the winners must have had when they must have identified the winners, what happened to those that did not win?
We have them already on our network. They call them the alumni. So the people that we have them on our network. We keep working with them. Usually we have a once a month online course. It could be per webinars, it could be per Skype, once a month, to keep in touch and still to keep them going. And we have other projects as well. We don't have only this master and the funding project. Those who are in our networks, there are other opportunities. We offer, for example, volunteer year. So if these people are still in the network and they want to do a volunteer here, maybe in Germany, one can always see what are the possibilities for them to do 1 year exchange program. We have exchange programs that we do with Germany and with Cameroon or with South Africa as well. So we can now network all these countries, these young people, and then we do exchange project, talk on topics like what you just said, gender topics, gender equality or sustainability and all that. We discuss that. But for those that win, we have a regular discussion, regular coaching with them to see that the projects get fulfilled. It's an investment we are doing, so we have to be there.
Yeah, you're investing on humans. That's quite a laudable initiative. It's true, we are talking 15,000 is really the most affordable price that one can tag. It's not even a price one can tag to such wealth, because when I see this, I see wealth. And there is socio-political content in which we are living now in the nation. Have you thought of some people maybe internally displaced who have not had the opportunity to, do not want to go to school again but wants to do something else, that can they decide to come? Maybe even they have not complete, like those that are really, some people who run with almost nothing from their homes in the two English speaking regions. Have you given a thought about that?
Of course. I think that if someone really have an idea and things that I really want to take part in this master's class and feels that the idea can be funded, I don't think that I will be saying that because of 15,000 you should not take part. No, not at all. But the person still have up to today, to Monday, letters to signal, and that's why the person should have to call the number 677-559077. That's Miss Ayem Lelinda, and register themselves there. Tell them that they heard me talk on Canal 24. That if they really have a good idea and really do not have any funds because they migrated from one region or the other because of crisis at the moment, but they have a good idea, then they should notify that, and we can sponsor that. That's no problem. We have sponsored a lot. Last year we did 80 without. We this year we will not want to say 15,000 is such a mighty thing that people should not come for. But we just want to make people understand that everything that is for free usually is not really too good.
Yeah, I know that. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You are still on the studio with Madam Vera Sompon, who is unveiling the package she has for the Cameroonian youth of age 18 to 40 for the Sompon Social Service Initiative for the year 2019. We'll come back after the transition. Welcome back, beautiful people. If you are joining us, you are still on Canal 24 television talking Entretien Venkat with Mrs. Vera Sompon, all the way from Germany, with a special sport for Cameroonian youth or for African youth. Like I was saying in that report, we followed that. It is born out of the desire to help humanity, to create an impact. And I want to attach myself to her policy that helps somebody so that the person in turn can help another person. We all want to build a society where the gap between the haves and the have-nots will really not be that visible. So we are still in the house, Ma'am Vera. So we know the age group of the people is 18 to 40. What if somebody is above 40 wants to come? Nowadays at times you see those big people want to fight space, they want to learn, they want to go back to school, and it the age segment has already been.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that if it is a learning purpose, everyone can come.
Okay.
But I think that I want to give the funding possibility
for the
young person.
So any consideration for people living with disabilities or gender, women, percentage? What's the quota like?
I have no clue about what you're saying, because I just said before that I have nothing to do with gender, with age and all that. So it means that anyone is free, and if what you call disabled, for me it's not disabled, because according to somebody you can have eyes and you have no vision, so you are more disabled than that person. I have nothing on that mind, so my mind is very clear on that. So anybody is really, really welcomed.
So I want you to look at the Cameroonian woman today. Many women are like, because your husband work, how can a woman get out of the corner of being just a woman and start coming out to do things? How should they start? How should the bold step be taken?
I think it starts by knowing who you are. It starts by asking questions. What is the purpose for me being here on earth, it starts by going deep within you to ask questions like, am I really fulfilling purpose? Am I fulfilling divine calling? Am I being a blessing to my community, to my country, to the world at large? Am I really that virtuous woman? I may go a little to the Bible for those who know the story of the virtuous woman. This virtuous woman had a husband, and but it is told that it's because of her that her husband was known at the gate. So it is an example for me to tell many other women, it's not enough to be a wife, it's not enough to be a mother, it's not enough to just say I'm leaving and but that actually we have to aspire to dominate, and that's the purpose for which God created us. Go ye out there and have dominion. Dominion means that show the world that God, show the world the Christ in you, show the world that he is still or she is still in existence in your actions. So faith without action for me is useless, and therefore any woman who is a child of God listening to me now and will say I'm born again and I'm praying, and you're still being unable to bless the life of another person, I am not saying that spiritual blessings are not good. I want us to be very, very clear about this. Spiritual blessings are the best things when someone understands the spirituality of things. But I want us to also get far from that and say it's not only about God bless you and all is well, but it's being able to help the orphan women, to the children, to help the widow people, to help the old people, and that's what God is asking from us. That's Christianity. Help the old people, help the orphans, help the widow and the widowers, support the neighbors. If you're not doing this in your practicing Christianity, then I question your Christianity or your religion.
So you are a living example of one that has braved, given the numbers, in Africa, I'll say the feathers you have on your cap. You teach, you reach out, you go to. Is it easy to match these two?
No, I never said it's easy. That I've never said. It takes a lot of organization. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of sacrifice, but it takes a lot of teamwork. I have a family of 4 persons. My husband, myself, and my 2 kids, and we work like team. We have understood that we all must fulfill purpose in our different areas, and therefore we support one another to fulfill their God-given assignments.
Wow, teamwork. So we've been talking about networking. Your network is your net worth. How do one really get to breakthrough? I know that we are not already in the training, but how do one really get in breakthrough? Because even in our own profession, we need that on a daily basis, on the way how we interact with people. How does it get? Some people are like, you want to say hello, you want to be nice, where's the face? Is it easy to break through? Some people are like too hard to be able. How do you get to network and feel comfortable in that networking line?
I think you're trying to get into my seminar now, and so I invite you to come next week and come get every information and get the tips and the tricks. But I think that just in short for the people listening to me who may not have the possibility to come and should at least understand what networking is. Networking begins at home. Right. Networking begins around you. But you should network with people, like-minded people, network with people that have the same kind of vision. If you want change, then network with changers. People want to make change. So I noticed something. We have a group somewhere and people say, but we are networking. And I said, no, that's not networking. In a network, it is really, it has a principle, and I call that the principle to support one another in this network. Now let's take, for example, the church. The church would have been a good platform for networking because of the spiritual support, but it should not have stopped there. We should be able to go further and say, okay, you have this project, I do not have this fund, maybe we can support one another by 100 francs everyone, and then give it to this person. So the principles behind networking is important to understand. And if you are in any network, any group, put it, or any whatever, and you can see that particular support that you are expecting, then you go and create another one or go join another one. You should never go into a network just for going sake. Right now, if I'm in the church, then you're going for one thing. What is that? God. So you get there, you pray together, hallelujah, you laugh with all your people, you praise God with your people, you're networking there on Christianity, on religion, and whatever. Now, if you want to have business partners, you don't go but to church to get business partners. You look for a group of people that are really inside business and that they do lobby work. It means that they go get contracts and come share together amongst themselves. It means that if you are in my network, for example, and I'm looking for a trainer, I have to look in my network, who is my trainer? That one gets my contract, not the one I don't know outside. So those are the small tricks and tips for getting, but you can, not everyone opens their network. So let's say, for example, we have a master's class network or it's master's class club, for example, and these are alumni students and they are making now big time and they are now well connected in the different societies. In French they will say réseautage. We may want to interpret it like we want to interpret, but networking is you are in this community together, and so if I hear there is an opportunity, the first person that comes in my mind is a person in my network, is a person in my group, because we understand that we support one another. And so if I have to sell something, it is to my network. So my network has become the first people I sell my products to, I sell my services to. So it's not like because I know you, I take your services for free. No, because you actually know me, you have to give me quality and real pay it for how it's supposed to be, right? So networking is actually, it starts with home. And let's say, for example, I had the avant premiere of the Africans film, and the food was covered by different people, but no one knows about it. A doesn't even know that B did this, and B didn't even know that A did that, and therefore there was food and there was drink. I spent not even a cent, because I had a group of people who volunteered to support me, and that's networking.
That's networking. Thanks
and
for
knowing exactly to ask. Another principle is knowing how to ask. I mean, these are principles that have been given to us already by some, by God, or some people call him universe and whatever. That say, ask and it shall be given unto you. One of the major principles, tools, instrument for networking is being able to purposefully ask.
Wow. Thanks for the tips. I'll start applying them. So in all this, has it been that easy? What has been that moment that has been like, or something that you want to do it as some sort of rock? You said this is my greatest challenge, but I'm going to pull it off.
I think that I have learned to see possibilities in everything. So the challenge has been, for up to now, have really, when it concerns this, have really hardly had one to call it, this one is so tough. Why? Because I don't think like many people think. Well, we intended to have 100 people, because last year we had 80 people, but we know that 80 came because it was for free. And we know that to have 100 that not going to go for free will be challenging. So that's maybe the biggest challenge, to have the 100 people. But on the other hand, if we say, or I say, if I have 50, is brilliant, because again they will have more of me, and they will have more of the insights that they need to become the best that I'm looking for, right? So 150, all depends, quality or quantity.
That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We are going to come back after the transition. Welcome back, our beautiful people. You are still live on ENTRETIENT Venkat. We are still here talking with Madam Sompon Vera, who is having a program, a training program for entrepreneurs from Monday to Friday. Here they are going to drill. That's for the younger generation of the Cameroonians, 18 to 40 years of age, with a burden that God has given her to reach out to people. She has this burning desire to see that Cameroonian youth are trained and, of course, have something doing. You know, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. Like they say, we are still in the house with her, so stay put. When you look at the Cameroonian women, I mean, say, young girls that fall between the age of 18 to 40, what appraisal can you make for the little that, you know, when you say, do we like free, do we like stress-free lives, do we like when you look at, like, when you reach a place, you are in Oja, the sets, how have you seen Oja? How is the Oja communities?
Well, who am I to judge God's creatures, right? But if one will ask my opinion to give a few suggestions, I will think that women should stop asking permission from someone, from their bodies, to do things that they have to do. We've gone to different restaurants and the women have been serving us, and I had the impression that they were taking permission from their legs to carry them. Let me go or let me not go. So it's so sluggish. And I think that it's the sluggish nature that makes things so difficult. And because we are so sluggish in these things, it really hinders development. Yeah. It hinders growth, and it hinders sustainability. And of which the women are the backbone. If a woman understands her true identity, that she's created for greatness, that without her there will be no male human. Of course, without the male human there will be no female human. Her ways will change. And I want to encourage every woman to understand that they are created for greatness. They just have to find out who they are. Are they the fish? If you are a fish, don't go to the air. Stay in the ocean, because in the ocean, in the waters, you will explore, you do great and mighty things. And if you are the bird, what are you looking in the sea? Stay on the air. Don't go cage yourself like if you were a fowl. Get that freedom, liberate yourself, the self-liberation to do mighty things. Go on the air and do those mighty things. And if you're the tree, what are you looking for in the air? Stay connected to the root so you can produce good fruit, good results. You see, so I think that women just need to know the seeds they are carrying, to understand how potential they are, how great God created them to be, and start exploring them, and of course daring to question. I want to use this platform also to share an experience I had as a young girl living here in Cameroon before going to Germany. I always saw men eat the gizzard of a chicken, and I had the impression that it was said somewhere, I do not know, that women had no rights to this gizzard, right? And therefore I never ate also gizzard when I was here, but I always questioned what was that and why. But since I stayed here and you question, and people will like look at you like you were rebellious. So when I got to Germany, I went into the shop and I saw gizzard in packet. So many of it that I said, what is this? This very thing that seems to be like taboo for women. It's just exposed here. And so I bought like about 1.5 kilos of gizzard, and I took home. And while I was preparing this gizzard, you know what I said? I said, today let me eat and die. If at all people will die, where women will die if they eat this gizzard. I will eat this gizzard today and I will die, and then it will confirm that indeed there is a kind of traditional thing attached to it. And I called my dad to say, I bought some gizzards today and I'm going to prepare some gizzards. But my dad is a liberal kind.
Yeah.
Of course, do it, my girl.
Eat a
and
gizzard.
then so I prepared, and when I was eating one piece to the other, I was eating and I was like, nothing was happening to me. And then I just realized the rules that we are having are made by other humans to limit us to fulfill purpose. And it's not a sin to question what is the purpose of this rule. Because if you do not understand the purpose of a thing, two things happen. You either destroy it or you misuse it. And so I want to encourage women there to ask the purpose of a thing so that you are not misusing it or abusing it.
I say, like you say, take the bull by the horn. Yeah, we should know how to push our limits. To not stay and people push you around. That's a lesson I've been learning from here all along. I want us to come back to talk more on this last week on the Sompon Socialservice program. So the program is starting on Monday. I'm expecting youth age between 18 and 40 years of age. The venue?
It's going to be in Safiat Hotel in Oja. And we want every young person to pay the fees of 15,000 francs CFA. They can do a quick Momo transfer under the number 677559077. And when a young person transfers the money, she just write their names attached to it, because we're going to use that name to identify the sender of the money. And they should come with an open mind to learn. We want to learn together. We want to exchange. It's going to be a workshop with different modules, different topics, and they should come with lots of questions.
So I want you to look at the camera and tell those that will be attending and those that have intention to come with the last word.
I want to encourage every young Cameroonian who is going to be listening to me at this very moment to be a partaker of the Sompon Masterclass and the Sompon Startup Funds. It is a fun for me, a personal initiative to support you listening to me, to encourage you. It's my gift to give back to you, to humanity, for all that God has done for me. So it's an encouragement, and I make an appointment with you. Make a date with me as from Monday the 19th to the 24th of August.
You heard her. She has said everything you wanted to know, everything you were supposed to know. If you are doubting somewhere, that's why we brought her here, to give all these clarifications so that you guys out there will be able to know exactly what is going to be taking place. Like you heard, it's not an opportunity to miss, because it's one of a lifetime opportunity. Madam Vera, I want to say thank you for accepting to talk to us today on this platform.
It's my pleasure. I came gladly.
Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. You too, ma'am. God bless you.
Bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we saw it on this week's edition of ENTRETIENT 24 on Canal 24. Until next edition, stay tuned to programs on Canal 24 television. God bless you.